Good evening. Welcome to the September 5th Clark County Fire District 6 Board of Commissioners meeting. I'd like to call this evening's meeting to order and ask that you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This time I'd ask for any additions to this evening's agenda.
I'm here.
None here. Thank you. We'll need to read and approve, post as necessary, the minutes of our August 15th, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Correspondence this evening. I didn't see anything listed in our packet. Did you have something?
Yeah, so I just wanted to notify the board. I sent it an email to all the membership as well, but we got a call from John Morrison, who is the manager of the Clark County Fair, and he just wanted to reiterate what a professional job our people did and that they couldn't do the fair without us. He said there was other factions of the EMS response system and emergency response system at the fair that either no-showed or couldn't fulfill their commitment, and that was not our people at all. So he just wanted me to tell the board and the members that participated in it that great job. And then he also wanted to comment on the Memory Makers program and how beneficial that was this past year too.
Yeah, that's great. I saw some pictures of that and looked like a great event. So
Yeah.
thank you to all that worked and helped support the event. Right. Citizen communication. Citizens wishing to communicate with the board this evening, viewing on YouTube, can do so using the chat feature that will be monitored throughout this evening's meeting, and the board can address those questions. Committee reports. I don't see any reports listed for health and safety or risk management. Looks like Fairgrounds Fire Facility report. The next meeting is on September 12th.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And just to note, that's a Tuesday instead of the regular Wednesday.
Okay, Tuesday. Moving on to the consent agenda.
Second.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Aye.
Chief's report, if you want to run through those two items there, Chief.
So for the personnel action report, we had a number of anniversaries. Eric Semica with 26 years of service, Dave Fisher with 23 years, Travis Dick, Tracy Wood, and Ethan Altman, all with 17 years of service. Dave Schmidt with 4 years, Brad Osborne 2 years. We have Dave Fisher out on the job injury, Blake Bartak is on FMLA, Bill Dunlap still on light duty, and Dominic Seppi is paid family medical leave without pay. And there is no facilities report tonight other than they have started demolition at 61.
Do we know when they're going to start on the shed?
Building?
I do not. They have 122 days, I believe it was, to finish it from when they signed, so they should probably start soon.
It's moving forward.
It's moving forward.
All right. All right. Thank you. I didn't see anything listed under old business. Moving on to new business. Part-time maintenance hire.
So we had a retired member that came forward when we were starting to discuss the part-time maintenance hire process that was interested in the job. He met with myself and both Chief Newberry. That was Rich Chose. So he is interested in the position and staff feels it's a great fit and we'd like to move forward with filling that position.
Please do.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Yes.
does he know how to paint?
He knows how to paint.
Okay.
That was the main discussion is can you
Painting.
service
He did paint-
hydrants?
He did paint station too, I think.
Yeah. Yes.
He'll do a good job.
Alrighty, anything further from the board regarding the hire or anything? You're just moving forward with the process?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Reorganization.
So I asked the board if we could present a reorganization plan for the district. When staff has been meeting and working together, we had some areas in staff that we just aren't able to give 100% of our attention to, and some areas where we know we wanted to focus more. So we're starting to see that even with 4 chief officers, we're busier than we've ever been, and we have several major projects, both in process and upcoming. So since I became chief, we've added 12 new firefighter positions, but just like an ICS system, if the base is going to continue to grow, which it needs to, then we need to fill out the command structure to have the administrative positions in place to support it. So here are some of the projects that we're currently working on and are in front of us for the next year. The remodel at Station 61, handling a majority of our mechanic work in-house rather than taking it outside. We're actively moving towards participating in the CARES program within the county. We're looking at options to support the Clark County Fire Marshal's Office through county fire service agencies. We're preparing to be reassessed by WSRB in 2024. We're evaluating the need for a fire levy lid lift in August 2024. We began contract negotiations early next year. In our last contract negotiations, we asked the membership to help build the depth of our officer pool in order to sustain a 4-platoon model, which is what they desired. Our membership followed through on that request. We have that depth, so we know we will probably be negotiating a schedule change, most likely with this next CBA. That will entail a lot of work because it touches every part of the CBA. Vancouver's beginning to renegotiate the EMS District 2 agreement, and we are sitting at the table for those negotiations, so we have some things that we need fixed within that contract. We are starting the joint staffing at 151 and expanding our operations to the north. We need to address increases in call volume. We need to increase our staffing again in anticipation for a truck. We also need to develop and roll out that training for a truck company. And we're beginning the process of developing a new strategic plan. And we also need to develop a capital facilities plan in order to secure impact fees. So these are the projects that we know that we're currently working on and are on the horizon. And you can see that all of those projects are big projects. So in order to tackle this effectively, we need help within the administrative ranks. So that's the why we're looking to reorg. The how is, over the past year, I have utilized Daryl Hebert. He's the deputy chief at City of Vancouver Fire. I've used him as a trusted coworker to gain some outside perspective on different issues that the district faces. Chief Russell and I have both used Chief Hebert as a mentor. And through these discussions, I identified an opportunity and asked Chief Hebert if he ever considered about looking at something different to give District 6 a glance. Well, I got the call and he did, and after we've had several meetings discovering philosophies and needs of both the district and the fire service as a whole, Chief Hebert has agreed to come over to District 6, so we're looking at a reorg to include him. He has the skills and qualities that I feel will not only benefit our district, but make us stronger. And I asked Chief Hebert for a resume. We did a reference review, all glowing reviews, very highly qualified. He also spent time with each of you, the board members, to see if he was a good fit and what experience he could bring to the district. So I have no doubt that adding him to our administrative ranks will be beneficial for all of us. So sometimes life just presents you an opportunity and you gotta jump at the chance and take it. So this is one of those. What's that?
That's what he said.
So the what? The new position that we're looking at is called Chief of Staff. This position will work under the fire chief and is responsible for the supervision of all personnel except for the Board of Commissioners, the fire chief, the office administrator, the public information officer. The main duties of Chief of Staff will be HR, labor management, safety, wellness, fitness, peer support, payroll review, and annual awards, and of course the catch-all of any other duties as assigned. But he will help take some of the pressure off the assistant chiefs so that they can have a more cohesive focus. And currently some of the job duties are shared between the ACs, like training, for example. We've split up the training captains between the ACs, and we want to get those more cohesive than they are now. And we just don't have the time to focus on what we'd like to. So the AC of operations will continue to be Chief Russell. He is responsible for the battalion chiefs, officer development, county operations. He's our CRESA liaison, and that's a big lift this year where we need to improve operations with CRESA. He's our CCSO liaison and runs Vector Solutions. So within his responsibility, he has the BCs and he assigns them to some specific operational assignments. This AC position, so the AC of operations, will function as the fire chief in my absence on vacation or etc. The AC of Administration will continue to be Chief Schmidt. We are shifting some of his responsibilities, and he will be mainly responsible for training in the department. The way it's now structured, training is divided between 2 ACs, and putting them all under the one supervisor will make them more cohesive. So in addition to training, he will do plans review, hiring and testing, support service volunteer program, other program management, cadets, annual reports, and then the return to work and evaluations and education requests. Within his responsibility, he has the 3 captains that are assigned to training, and they will be responsible for some specific training assignments as well. The AC Logistics will be Chief Newberry and responsible for the operational support division, capital projects, all logistics, IT and data, and hydrant maintenance. Within that responsibility, he has staff assigned to logistics that are responsible for specific logistical assignments. So on the next page, you'll see the organizational chart and how it's laid out with that chain of command that I just described. So the when is pending the approval of the board. Chief Hebert would begin employment with the district on November 1st, 2023. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I've also included in your packet job descriptions for each of those positions that outlines what they will be doing.
Chief, you mentioned to focus on a strategic plan. What timeline? The current strategic plan that you have in place is runs through 2024. Is that right? Okay.
It runs through the end of 2024, but we've almost accomplished everything in there with the exception of the truck. So it's time to start developing what we want to work on next.
Do you have a vision for the creation of that strategic plan? Is that just sort of internal stakeholders, or how does that look? Do you know yet? Or?
Yeah, so the strategic plan we did in 2020 happened in the middle of COVID, so it was a very siloed plan where I worked on it on my own. I don't want to do that again. Okay. We got surveys and email input, but typically we would do what a normal strategic plan is, where you gather all the stakeholders together, everybody has input, and we look at some type of SWOT analysis or weaknesses and areas of improvement for the district.
Certainly will take some time to create that. So.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think we can do that all in-house, especially with the creation of this new position, and we shouldn't need to get consultants to help us with that.
Perfect.
And that would be a 5-year plan, 4-year plan, 5-year plan?
Well, the last one we did was 4. 5 years in the fire service is pretty long anymore. Things change rather quickly, and we found even with the 4-year plan they're changing quickly, but 3 to 5 years I would
Because
estimate.
when we talked in 2020, when we talked about it, we were debating 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah.
Trying to get everybody's input in the middle of COVID was pretty difficult. So
Yeah.
More people have a chance to participate this time, which is good.
Yeah.
Great. Commissioner Haynes, any questions?
No questions here. Pretty excited for this opportunity and looking forward to after November 1st, how we move forward.
All righty. Well, thank you for the updated information here. Any questions, Commissioner Osbeck, on
No,
the
sir.
reorganization? Okay. With that, we'll move on to employment contract.
So I didn't know if the board would choose to move to executive session for that, but there is an employment
You
contract
want
to
to
be
evaluate
discussed.
personnel.
Yeah, you bet, you bet. With that, the board will be going into executive session in accordance with RCW 42.30.110, parentheses 1, parentheses G, to review the performance of a public employee. The executive session will last 20 minutes and conclude at 6:32. All right.
Commissioner, would you like just me for the first part, or would you like both Chief Hebert and I?
I think you for the first part.
You and the Secretary of the Board,
Yeah.
then if we could call
Yeah.
Chief Hebert.
The executive session's been extended 10 more minutes. 10 minutes.
board met in executive session and took no action.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we authorize the chief to create an additional assistant chief position.
Second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Roundtable, good of the order.
We had our new recruits complete their recruit academy
Oh, that's right,
last
yes.
week, so
Sorry,
they
missed
had their
that.
graduation and will all be on shift. And Station 151 was staffed with its first career crew on Sunday
Okay.
from District 6.
Nice article in the paper about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both paid, Clark County today and then Columbia as well. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
That's on B shift, right?
B shift,
Okay.
yes. So it's Captain Altman's out there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that in the, or your,
He and
transfer.
Olson arm wrestled, right? He's good to go.
I don't know. I think Olafson picked 62, but I'm not sure how it all shook out.
Great, well, it's nice to see that come to fruition and be up and running, so
Mhm.
it's good stuff. All right, any other roundtable good of the order?
No, sir.
Okay, well, with that, we'll need to authorize payment of current bills, pre-authorization transmittal, authorize monthly commissioner compensation.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Meeting is adjourned.